Hello and welcome to the pre-camp orientation for Camp Tracy for the summer of 2023. My name is Tyler Daly. I am the camp director at Camp Tracy. This is my second summer at camp. I absolutely love it. I've been at Camp Fife in northern Utah, Camp Bartlett in southeast Idaho, and then from there I went to Camp New Fork in the majestic Wind River Mountain Range in Wyoming before coming to Camp Tracy. So I've been around. I've been on camp staff. This will be my ninth summer, and I absolutely love it. So I'm so glad to be able to see you at camp this summer to have a wonderful experience with the day camp program. Here's my contact information. So if you ever need to get a hold of me, my email is there. It's tjdaily.nf@gmail.com. And then my phone number is 435-994-8677. And you can call or text me if you ever have any questions or any concerns or anything. Please let me know, and I'm happy to help you answer those questions. Make sure you get to the camp's website, which is utahscouts.org/Tracy, and to check out the leader's guide. Everything that we're going to some of the information we're going to talk about in this video is going to come from the Leader's Guide, but please be sure to review the Leader's Guide to know what's expected, the policies, and the things that help you prepare you to come to camp. So make sure you check the latest version of it. Sometimes we update it between now and camp, so check it out before you arrive to camp so you know that you got the right information for camp. Camp Tracy offers a day camp program for kids ages 8 through 11. So this age group is for Cub Scouts who are in the Cub Scout program with the Boy Scouts of America, as well as Webelos. We do Webelos overnighter and a Webelos day camp. So later in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about for the Webelos overnighter. But we also provide a program for primary kids who are ages 8 through 11. And they are just so much fun at camp to experience the outdoors and just have fun with the activities. And so we're so thrilled to provide this program for you again this summer. Here are the directions to camp. Camp Tracy is located on the east side of Salt Lake City, or near Salt Lake City. It's up Mill Creek Canyon. To get there, you just get onto the belt route, which is I-215, and going east to go on that east bench. Then you'll get off the freeway onto Wasatch Boulevard till you get up to 3800 South, where you'll turn east to go up the canyon. Travel times varies depending where you're coming from, so please plan accordingly as you are planning your travel to Camp Tracy so that you can arrive on time to camp so you can get checked in, and so that way your group can participate in the activities. As you're coming up the canyon, you will notice as you're driving up, you'll pass a fee booth. The canyon does require a fee when you participate or recreate through the canyon. These fees are paid as you leave the canyon. So when you leave Camp Tracy, we have a voucher program. So please grab a voucher, one per vehicle at checkout, so that way you can get out of the canyon for free. If you forget to grab a voucher, just know that you'll have to pay the fee at the booth when you exit the canyon. Before arriving to camp, make sure all your camp fees are paid. This is just so that way we don't have any problems and we don't have to adjust any fees or anything prior to camp. You can make those edits online. There's an instruction sheet on the camp's website that'll help you step by step to adjust those fees. If you're adjusting your numbers of who's coming, just make sure you get the right accurate amount prior to camp. Just know if you have any late add-ons when you arrive to camp, it's an extra $5 per person. So please make sure you get a confirmed head count prior to camp. It just makes the check-in process so much easier and smoother. All that information, how to get that, is in the download section on the camp's website. So you just have to scroll down until you find all that information, and it should be all there. If you have problems with your registration and you are unable to figure it out online, the service desk is always happy to help. So always call them or send them an email. They are so happy to help here with registration and get those adjustments that you needed. What to bring at camp, please bring a copy of your receipt or your registration that has all the numbers and that your fees are paid. I will match that with my sheet to make sure that our numbers are correct. So bring that. If you are a LDS group that's coming for day camp, please bring a copy of your insurance. There's instructions how to get that insurance in the download section. Like I said, it's clear at the bottom. You'll see primary day camp insurance, and there's step-by-step instructions how to get that. Then you'll bring your health forms. So everyone in your group must have health forms. It's in case of if there's any injuries in camp and we have to take them to a medical center. That way we have their health form in case, so that way we know, the doctors know how to take care of that person if we have to send them out of camp. And then you'll bring a group roster. That's very important, so you know who's at camp with you. It also helps us in case we have to evacuate camp. That way we have a roster and that we know who made it out of camp safely. So all that information's on the camp website at utahscouts.org/Tracy. So please look it up. Please look at that website frequently, so that way you are prepared for camp. When you arrive to camp, so as you start getting up the canyon, up Milk Creek Canyon, you'll pass various different gates of camp. You'll continue going until you get to the main camp, and you'll go to gate 5. This is the gate where the parking lot is, so you'll turn in there. Staff member will assist you in your parking, so that way we can get everybody in the parking area. And then you'll cross the little bridge that's just right across from the trading post, and then your group can go play activity games with their staff. If you have your lunch coolers, there's picnic areas throughout camp. There's a big pavilion right next to the climbing area where you can place your coolers and your lunches, so that way you don't have to haul it around the camp with you. And then when you are checking in, just send one leader to the check-in desk at the trading post, and that's where you'll turn in all your forms that I've mentioned in the last slide. You will receive group wristbands for your entire group, so we know you're part of camp. And then there's gathering games, like I said, for the kids before our opening flag ceremony. Some things to bring. So like I said, bring your sack lunch, or if you're coming for the daylight session, bring a lunch. If you're coming for the twilight session, bring a dinner, sack dinner for everyone. Bring a water bottle for everyone. It does get hot up the canyon. You may be thinking it's like, oh, if you're in a canyon, it's a little cooler. Yes, there's plenty of shade at Camp Tracy, but please bring a water bottle. There's water coolers at every station to fill up your water bottles, and we keep those filled constantly throughout the day. So if you ever get out, if your water bottle empties, go fill it up. We want to make sure everyone's hydrated and staying cool at camp. On those days when it's really hot and it's pretty sunny, sunscreen is very important, and a hat. Those are optional, but like I said, we do get sunburned as a staff at camp because we are still constantly in the heat of the sun. Make sure everyone brings money for the trading post. We got some really cool stuff at the trading post, some toys, knickknacks, some candy bars, some snacks, and for those leaders who need a little pick-me-up drink, we got some beverages for you to purchase at the trading post. In case the weather decides to go south on us and kind of becomes stormy, make sure that everyone brings a jacket or rain gear just in case, for any inclement weather that comes to camp. And speaking of that, in case there's inclement weather, whether it's rain, snow, or wind, or just a cloudy day, camp will continue. The camp program will continue. Check the weather accordingly and prepare accordingly. Just make sure your group knows that are prepared clothing-wise. If you need to bring a jacket, a hat, and some umbrellas, rain gear just in case. But we will continue to have program. We will adjust the program as needed in case the weather decides to change on us. Some areas might adjust their programs, so you might not. Usually the waterfront will go first if there's a storm in the area, for the safety of participants. Leaders, you determine the safety of your participants at camp, so make sure you are planning ahead accordingly so that way everyone can have a safe and enjoyable time at Camp Tracy. Here's the program schedule. So we have 2 sessions of day camp that happen at camp. So there's the daylight camp session, and then there's a twilight camp session that you've registered for. So if you registered for the daylight camp, check-in begins at 7:30. So you'll come, make sure you arrive sometime between 7:30 and when program starts. Program will start at 8:15. We'll have a flag ceremony, and then we'll go right into the program rotation and lunch, and then we'll end at 1:25 in the afternoon. Twilight session, if you're registered for that, check-in will begin at 3:20, and then program will start at 3:50. And that will do the same thing, program rotations, and then we'll conclude at 8:25 in the evening. So that's kind of the rough schedule. So if you look in the leader's guide, there is the rotation schedule, how each rotation will be, so that way you can get a chance to participate in all the activities at Camp Tracy. So we're going to go over just a little bit of the program area activities that we offer at Camp Tracy. So there's 7 rotation stations. So your group will go through each rotation at camp. Our first one is our arrow boosters, which is our archery range. So kids will practice their archery skills. They'll learn how to shoot a bow and arrow at targets, and they'll get that fun skill of practicing with a bow and arrow. Our next one is piston shooting, which is our BB guns. This is a fun one to see if they can practice their aiming skills, shooting at little fun, colorful targets. Just to note that for those that bring Lion Cub Scouts to camp, they are not eligible for the BB guns in accordance to the Guide to Safe Scouting and scouting guidelines for appropriate activities. So an alternate activity will be in place for if you have Lion Cubs Scouts at camp. We have our climber circuit, which is our climbing and bouldering walls. We have a 12-foot wall where the kids will practice their climbing skills, and then we have our bouldering wall, which is you practice your going side by side. We have our Eco Nature Trail, which is a chance to go around the lake, learn some nature skills, leave no trace, and just to see some fun nature things. We do sometimes have ducks on the pond, and so those are kind of fun to see, as well as fish and different things, and learn about different things to be safe in the outdoors, including the forested area which Camp Tracy is in. We have our Raceway games, which is team games. So we might have some various team games. And then we have the most popular activity, which is Gaga Ball. If you have never played Gaga Ball, it is a high energy game of dodgeball, where everyone's against each other and it's in this circle of ring, and they're just playing dodgeball. If you get out, you hop out of the ring. So that one's a fun one that the kids always enjoy at camp. So this next one is our hydro drifting, which is our aquatics. The kids will learn some boating safety. They will also learn some safety while paddling on the lake. And then they will go out and practice their boating skills. We have these little ball pit balls. So if you know the big pits with all the balls in it, we just throw them out on the lake and the kids go berserk, just going out and trying to grab as many balls as they can and bring them back to the dock. And it's such a fun one. That's one of the favorite activities that the kids enjoy at camp. And then when all is fun and you guys get tired, you can always take the pit stop at our trading post, where you guys can, like I said, purchase snacks, some knickknacks, candy, toys, some fun little souvenirs that you can take home with you from Camp Tracy. So those are the 7 stations that you'll be rotating through. So you're looking forward to that as you guys are coming to Camp Tracy. All right, we're going to go over to the Webelos Overnighter Adventure. So this has some extended information just specifically for the Webelos Overnight Adventure. So the Webelos schedule is as follows. So once you'll follow the daylight session, which is the morning session of day camp. You'll proceed with that. That's just the normal schedule. Then right as soon as you're done with the final rotation, there will be free time. And then That free time allows you to go to each of the areas, just have some more fun. This is also the time to set up your campsites at camp so we can get you ready for the evening. Then later in the afternoon, we'll have our Tracy relay. It's a relay race where you'll stop at different stations and you have to do an obstacle or a skill to be able to move on to the next station. And it's a blast. It's fun. Lots of camps do this kind of relay, and it's just a fun thing to enjoy at camp. Then we'll have our evening flag ceremony, and then we'll go right into dinner. And then after dinner that evening, we'll have our campfire program, which is fun, full of skits, songs, and runs. Just a blast, just some fun entertainment before you go to bed that night. Following the campfire program, we'll have an honor trail where you'll go through and be through an inspirational trail provided by our staff, and theme varies. So await what's going to be on the honor trail. And this honor trail is specifically for just to inspire you to learn the teachings and learn the values of why scouting is important in our lives and by the scouting values. That evening, there's an opportunity for the kids to enjoy astronomy, weather permitting, depending if the weather cooperates with us. If it's a clear night, we'll be able to look at the stars and look at the different constellations. And it's just so much fun for the kids just to see where all these stars are and learn more about astronomy. Then that evening, you'll go to bed, and the next morning we'll have breakfast provided by the camp, and then there's a morning hike before you guys check out and head home for this weekend. For the meals for the overnighter, so lunch is provided by your unit, so you guys will provide the sack lunch, those things during that rotation schedule. Friday dinner and Saturday breakfast is provided by the camp. So Friday dinner will be hamburger and fries, and then Saturday for breakfast we'll have breakfast burritos. We do know that there might be some those that may be allergic to some things. So there are food substitutions available upon request. To submit those needs, there's on the right side under Camp Tracy resources on the camp's website, there's a dietary needs at camp. There's a form where you need to fill out any information that we need to know for our cook to prepare the meal, substitutions of the meal for your participants. Make sure you get this in 2 weeks before. So 2 weeks before the overnighter, which will be June 2nd, is when you need to have that form submitted by. So that website is at utahscouts.org/allergy. So please fill up that form so that way we can get the food and substitutions for those who have some dietary restrictions. All right, for the campsites, so like I said, during that free time, you'll have time to set up your campsites. So the campsites are first come, first serve. So they'll be marked, but smaller groups are encouraged to be together in campsites. But if you have a bigger group, then adjust as necessary. But they are first come, first serve. So at 1:30, so just before the last station ends for the rotation program, gate 7, which is up the canyon just a little bit more, will be opened to where all the campsites are. So you'll be able to come in, drop off your gear, and then move your vehicle back to the parking area. As we are in the woods, just please be courteous. Please be courteous of others in the campsites and also the animals around camp. As you guys are dropping off your gear, please don't overcrowd the roadways so that way people can get in and out from dropping off their gear and return their vehicles back to the parking area. Oops. Well, that kind of wraps up this video. So please stay up to date from us at the camp's website at utahscouts.org/Tracy. Everything is there. So if you have any questions, please go there first. If you can't find your answer, please contact me and I will answer any questions that you may have. So please remember that website as you're going to go get the leader's guide, the other information that I've mentioned in this video. but just please stay up to date prior to camp, and always check it before camp if there's anything that you need to know or you might miss prior to arriving at camp. Once again, thank you for choosing Camp Tracy. We are so thrilled and excited for you to come, and we are looking forward to seeing you at camp. If you have any questions, please again reach out to me. I'm happily to answer any questions you may have. You can also contact the program office, which is program.office@scouting.org, or the service desk right there with their phone number if you have any questions about registration or anything about the camp. So thank you, and we'll see you at camp.